So so I'm going to share my screen, and then I will just upload some one of those data. Then I will run some. We'll look at the data. Then I will ask us some questions. Then we will know which we are supposed to actually the kind of statistic we are supposed to run. Remember, if there's one PowerPoint I need you guys to really understand very well, is that one that have to do with how do you determine the statistic to use. It's a very, very crucial training that I hope and I believe that we are able to get every of those things. So I'm going to share my screen right away. So okay. So I guess you should be able to see my screen now. So this is a file. I'm just going to open up. I think I have that. I should have that data somewhere here. Okay. Now, usually this is usually how your tool does this, how continuous data is. Although this is a mix of both continuous and categorical variable. So these are each of them. Now, for this kind of data, remember that here our dependent variable here is any of this. Could be FSH, LH, prolactin, progesterone, estrogen, serum, cortisol, amylase, and all other kind of data. Now, then we have the different dependent variable, as the case may be. So now for this, let's see, I'm coming. I want to check. Okay, it's not. So what we'll do now first, let's go and turn this into number form so that we'll be able to use it. We actually need to do that right away. So we go to transform, we go into different variable, then what we want to, in this case, definition. Then we'll call it case, just call it C definition. So okay, here, then now we are saying anywhere you see case, call it 1. Anywhere you see control, call it 2 for us. So that's all. Click. So that should be at the end of this. So we have that. Then you come back here. Let me hide this. Then you come back here. We have to go and define on that value. Remember, after that, we still have to come and tell it 1 is this. Then 2 is control. We click OK. So go back now. I'll see we have done that. Now let's go back to what I was going to ask us. Let me just check if any other person has joined so that I can add. Okay, not yet. So let's assume that this is we want to check for these cases and control. We want to check the mean age between cases and control. Now, assuming you remember that for this one, you should have done your normality to be sure they are normal, they are not normal, they are not normally distributed or not. But I'm assuming because I want to use, want to do t-test and Anova and all the rest. For this data, I'm assuming it's normal. But in real practice, you have to go and check if they are normal. From what I taught you guys, you just go to analyze, then go to what's it called? You go to can still go to frequency or descriptive as the case may be. But other option see here, but I think I prefer to go through frequency here. Then I'll check out this frequency option. Then let's say I want to check for age now. I'll move age here. Then here I want the mean, I want the median, I want this. No, I don't want some. Let's say I want quartile, I want percentile, I want the 25, I want the 50, I want the 75, I want the 95. Add that. So I want the standard deviation, I want the variance, I want the range, I want this. Then I want this too, I want this, then I'll click OK. Then on that chart, I want the histogram. Then show curve. So I'll click on this. Then other format, I don't really want to do anything there. Just click continue, then OK. So you see this is the output. You can see the result that has been shown to me. So this is how you do your normal distribution just to check the descriptive. Then if you now want to check for normality itself, you go to descriptive statistics, then under explore. So we move that here back, the female age here. Then under statistic here, remember we say okay for the descriptive. Then for plot, we said what we need, we don't need this, we need histogram. Then we want normality, we test, then continue. Then under option, we are not changing anything. Then remember to check out that they should be both. Then click on OK. So all what we're going to have, but here remember that if you look at these two plots, they are the same, but I didn't ask for their curve. So for you to take case that line, that curve is not there, you double click on it, then you click on this. So that's so click on that, then you click OK. That's that. So basically now you come and check here. We are assuming that this data is normally distributed. That's an assumption we are making. So assuming you've done it, you saw that it's normally distributed. Then the next thing that you want to do, we have a list that we are checking. Is it normally distributed? Yes. Then is it the dependent variable? Yes. Then the next thing is that for you to run t-test, the two group, you have to be comparing mean for two group. And in this case now we are comparing mean for case and control. Let's say the mean age for age and control. So here you click on, let's say we click on analyze, then you go to compare mean. Then to run an this test, you go to analyze, compare mean. Then you click on no one. If you just say only mean, it will give you only the mean. But here you go to one sample t-test. That's not what we are looking for. What we want to run is actually independent sample t-test. Now, one sample t-test is just if you are not comparing anything, just you already have a mean value. Let's say population mean that you already know. Then you want to compare the mean of the one sample. Let's say for just only cases with that population mean, then the control too with the population mean. But if you want to compare the mean of cases and that of the control, then you will use the independent sample t-test. But in the event that you have, for example, in the event that you have, let's say you run FSH, you have 10 females, you run FSH, let's say at the first of the month, then at 10th of the same month, you rerun the FSH. If you want to compare changes in that mean, you don't use, in this case, you don't use, what's it called? You don't use sample independent, you use paired sample t-test. The reason why we are using paired is because this is, you are running changes in the values of one group of population where the same analysis or the same analyte was analyzed twice at different time frame. So that is that. But for the most times, what you will keep using is actually this independent t-test. So you click on this independent t-test, then you move your age here. Then here, remember the reason why I have to, if I move this case definition here now, it will ask me what is 1. But remember that we did not transform that. So it's the one that is transformed that you can use this C defined. So here, you now define that group is 1, then the second one is 2. So you click on OK. You don't put anything under the short cut point. You click on OK. Then you come to your options. Just click on that. Then every other thing remain. Then you click on OK. So once you do that, automatically it will run your t-test for you. Now you can see the output. Now it told us that the case we have 81 of them, then the control will have 51. Then the mean age for the cases is 31.00, while the standard deviation is 4.669, then standard error is 0.512. Most times for a small population like this, standard error is usually preferred than standard deviation. But some school of thought will prefer to use standard deviation. But depending on who you are working for and what the person preference will actually determine what you are going to use. So for this, we use you also do check for the mean, then you check for the standard deviation, you check for the standard error. Now that is just the group statistic. Now to check, remember that is this T student that we are actually checking. Now remember that here there are two T value or T student value you are going to be seeing. The first one is assuming variance equal variance. Now you can't assume equal variance. If you check the variance are not the same, so you are going to assume variance not equal variance not assumed. So is the value under this not what's it called, equal variance not assumed, that you are going to take. Like here now, the T the t value rather is 0.827, while the p value is actually 0.410. So if it was normal analysis now, what you just need to do, I'm going to create a table, a new table. Now, normally the way you usually report your t-student statistic, like that which I just did now, you have your table here. You have your, at least I think two should be okay. Then let's say here we have age. Let's say it's age now that we are talking about, and this is for the cases, and this is the control. Not control. Then this is t value. Then there should be another one coming. So this is the p value. P value is usually small letter. Now, for this analysis I just did now, but remember that usually if you want to report, there are some things, your n numbers, then the next one is you are reporting mean, which is usually designated as I think if we have, let me check if we have that symbol under insert symbol. Okay, that's a mean. So let's say a mean, which is usually x, and plus minus the standard deviation to be s dot d, or if it's standard error, it will be standard error of mean. So whichever one you are reporting. So the case is 81, and you transfer the same thing here. So now let's minimize this. Then let's also try and minimize this so that you'll be seeing everything. So now for this mean, the mean for the mean age here is 31 plus or minus, go to inside under symbol, minus the standard error of mean is 0.52. So you can just can actually estimate this 0.19, so it will be equivalent to 0.52. So this is for that. Then for this, you do the same. Is 30. Okay, I think because of those other value there, so just let me make this one 0.00. So this is 30.35, and go to symbols 2 plus or minus, just check that, that's 0.59. So your t value here, remember I told you, is the one where you assumed there's no equal variance, so which in this case is 0.827. So this is 0.827, and the p-value go to that, which is this. So that is 0.41. So that's basically how. So assuming you now run that of this is for age, and let's say you run for the FSH, you do the same, you bring it here, then you bring this here, just a different one. So if you check research papers, you will always come across values tables like this in your research paper. So assume this FSH now, but remember that this one is in year, the unit. You must always remember to put this one is in years. So let's say FSH is in can put that value now. So let's say per weighting now. So let's go back to analysis. So you can actually do all of them together. Now, if I want to now run all of them, I can actually bring all of them, not just only this female now. Let's say I want to run for this till all of them, let's say to this okay, let's say to here. Can actually move all of them into it at once. So once I run it, I don't need, since I already reset, so once I run it, I'm going to have my value. So you can see the group value here. So you go ahead and enter your value here like that. Then you now go back to the other table to look for the what's it called, the T student statistical value. So I don't know if that is clear. And now I want to pull this. So I don't know if this is clear a bit. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. But how do we
Okay.
know the controls? I mean, from the where do we insert the control in the analysis? Is it the
Yeah.
case definition?
Yes. Let's look through this
Yes.
work now. If you look under this case definition, from number 1 to number 80, okay, 1 to 81 are cases. Can you see how we enter them? So meaning that all these values up, they are for the cases.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Yes.
Then from from 82 down are control value. So that's why I needed to go and code them and tell the software what if you come back, you can also see here. I needed to tell the software what cases is and what control is, so that
Control.
when I'm entering them, the software will not be confused. Because if I don't tell the software and I just go ahead and run mean on this, it will tell me the value for both. It will calculate the mean for everything for me. I
Everything.
don't know
Okay.
if you get that.
Yes.
So it will calculate the mean for me. Yes,
Yes.
for all. So I won't be able to distinguish which is actually different from the other. So that is I don't know if that clear.
Yes. And then how do we now insert it to the
Okay.
software?
Oh, how
Okay, the
do
software.
we?
Okay, the software would. Oh, okay. I now understand. The software will differentiate on its own and bring out both the controls and the cases and
Yes,
analyze them
now
separately.
remember
Yes.
initially, but you know that here what we usually do is you usually enter your work in Excel. Can you
Yes.
remember when you are, let's say
Yes. Yes.
when you are running um your analysis, let's say your
Yes.
project. Let me use
Yes, sir.
that. It may not be one day that you will run all those tests that are on that table. In fact, sometimes
Yes.
it can
Yes.
even take up to months. So I'm
Yes.
trying to open all this Excel now so that I can demonstrate to you how we generated those, how one could have generated those values. So now this is Excel.
Yes.
So here, let's say the title here is case definition, as we have rightly saw it there. Are you following, sir?
Yes, sir.
So
Follow.
let's say here, this is age, and let's say this is a FSH that run, then this is LH, and so on like that.
Yes.
LH. So let's say the first patient came. That patient, I gave the patient is a control. You know, on another, if it was a normal research now, it will not start from there. It will actually, let me move this. This will be, let's say, lab number or serial number,
Yes.
whatever
Serial
they
number.
are,
Yes.
serial number. So, or ideal. So let's say the person number is 001, then, but it's a case.
Yes.
Are you with me? So when
Yes,
you
sir.
run, the person age is 24. You put it there to 35 rather. Then when you run the FSA, it was 4.5 or
Okay.
4.6. Then when you run the LH, it was, let's say, 5.7. You know, this one is for one individual, all this value.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Then let's say the next person now came 003, and the person fall under your classification is a control.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
You also run, let's say it was a 25-year-old person, then it was 4 point, let's say 2, and let's say 7.4, and just
Okay.
we've gotten that. You know, that's how, as the people come to
Yes.
that fit your study group and your control group, you
Yes.
enter their value. Are you getting me?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
So once you finish all of this, you save it. You
Okay.
save it. You will save it. You will save it as a normal, the way you save your Excel document. You just save it the way you save your MS Word document. So let's say I save this now, save as. So it will ask me where in SPSS training. So let's say I call it test. I said okay, I saved. Then after that, I want to I finish all my experiments. You know,
Yes.
you have quite number of samples, so this is just a demo. So once you have done that, you now come to file. You want to start your analysis now. You come to file. You come
Yes.
to open.
Yes.
Go to data.
Yes.
Then remember that my that stuff I saved it under SPSS training, but
Yes.
it's an Excel document. Shey you remember? So
Document.
you come and click
Yes, I
Excel
know.
here. You can
Yes, sir.
see
Yes.
this is test. So you click on open. So you
Okay.
click OK. So it will open up.
Yeah.
So after the next thing you are supposed to do now is for you to now come and tell the software to code this, to recode this case definition for
Yes,
you.
and control.
Most times, almost all your categorical data is good you recode them. Are you getting me?
Yes. Yes.
All your categorical data is good you recode them. And to recode, you go to transform, you go to recode into different variable, then you move this just the way we did for the other one. That's how
Yes.
you do. So once you do finish that, then you have almost the same thing that I have here. It's just that this one is quite a number. So it was when I finished
Yes.
that transformation that I have this. So you can see it.
Yes. Yes.
So that is
Yes.
that. So is it clear?
Yes. It's clear now. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So that's how to run t-test. So the next thing now that we want to run is Anova. You know, for you to run
Hello.
Anova, can you hear me, sir?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I said the next thing that we want to look now is how to run ANOVA.
The
So
ANOVA, yes,
for
sir.
you, ANOVA mean analysis of variance.
Of variance, yes.
Yes. And for you to
Yes,
run ANOVA is also comparison of mean. It means you're also comparing. But in this case,
yes,
here we have only two group, case and control.
yes, yes.
But if you now have more than two group, you have to use ANOVA. Like here now, let's go back here. Let's use this as an example. If you look at all this, like all this sperm classification, for example, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can see homospermia, oligospermia, azoospermia, then the control. So assuming now we want to check, let's say we want to check the let's say the testosterone. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Let's say we want to check the testosterone level of each of these different conditions with control. They are already more than two groups.
Yes,
Nomospermia is one group, oligospermia is second group, azoospermia is third group, then control is the fourth group. So in this case, you cannot use t-test. Are you following, sir?
yes, sir.
So what you will need to use here is actually the ANOVA. Now you click on analyze, then you click on compare mean again, but in this place you go to one way ANOVA. So once you click on one way ANOVA, here what we want to test, let's say we even want to test FSH, we want to test LH, we want to test prolactin, to test progesterone and all like that, even let's say the testosterone itself, then you move them into this dependent list. Now for the factor, so this is where you bring the factor, this uh spin classification. Wait, okay. There's, I told you we must always convert all these things to numbers. So because we did not classify it, if you check, it's under this classification is under string. So string you will not be able to analyze string. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So you have to go and convert all these things
To
um,
number.
to numbers. And how do you do that? You go to
Go to transformation.
transform, recode, then let's say we reset this. Then here what we want to is actually this main classification. So you move it here, call it SC. So just okay here. Then click on now. We have to know how okay. You must make sure you know how they were spelled so that let's say normal premium is one. So move that there. Then oligo was premium two. Then azo premium is three. And control. The controls now. I hope it's controls. So okay, let's say controls 4. So you add that. Then click on OK. Click on OK too. So you can see that. Oh, you can see because this was not well spelled, it missed it out. And you see control because there's no S there, so I have to go and re-edit that. Are you with me? So it's very specific. So if you miss anything, you need to go back there. So here, let's say I want to re-edit that. Is oligo, I think it was oligosospermia also. Oligosospermia. Okay.
Yeah. 00.
Yes. So change this. Then there's no S there. Change this. Then we add. No. Remove this. So we'll say okay. So you can see it has corrected it.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can see.
Yeah. So we also have to come back here. We have to come and define, put the value. Say one was normal spermia. 2 was oligo. So spermia. 3 was azo. Spermia. And 4 was control.
True.
We will add that. So click on OK. So once you're done with that, then go back to data view. If you click on it, now can see. Can you see it?
Yes.
Hello, sir. Okay.
Hello. Yes, sir.
So okay.
That's it. Yes.
So now let's go back to analyze, compare mean, one way and over. Then let's move all this stuff that clicked before. Yes, sir. So now can move. You can see the SC9 has come here. So you move it here. So once you move it there, then the next thing you have to do, there's what we call post hoc comparison. Now, this post hoc, what we usually do is, for example, it will compare the Anova will just give you the general differences. But if you now want to, let's say you want to compare the main difference, it's like t-test inside Anova. That's what post hoc is about, multiple comparison. Let's say you want to check the mean value of each of those parameters between normospermia, oligospermia. Is there, let's say for FSH, is the mean value of FSH in normospermia different from those in oligospermia, different from those with azoospermia? Just comparing within themselves between normospermia, oligospermia, normospermia, azoospermia, normospermia, control, then oligospermia, azoospermia, oligospermia control, then azoospermia control. You can see the level of compare. That is almost like how many level of comparison? Almost 7 level of comparison. Now, usually these are different post hoc tests that you can actually use. Now, here I want you to note. Now, if you say equal variance is assumed, you are saying that you can use any of these, this, or this. But if we are saying equal variance not assumed, then you can use any of this one. So now, assuming equal variance is not assumed, then I can decide to say, okay, I want to use this, let's say this terrant, and say I want to use this. Then I also want to use, let's say, buffron, for example. So I'll click on buffoonery and then this term harness. So I'll click on OK. Then other option, I'll click add descriptive. I want to see the descriptive. Then if you want to check the mean plot too, you can click that out. You click on continue, but it's not really that important. Under we don't need to do anything under this bootstrapping. Then you click on OK. So it's going to run. The output will be ready in a jiffy. So this is the first descriptive. These are the descriptive results. You can see now. It will tell you the number. How many nomospermia was there? Were 53. Oligospermia was 15. Azoospermia was 13. But you know that this different classification now, this three classification is just for the case. Are you with me? The control remain the control, still 51. Are you following, sir? Are you following, sir?
I'm following.
Oh, okay. Now,
I'm following.
the mean value for nomospermia is this. This is standard deviation. This is standard error. Just all these different statistics. You can see all the different tests we run. Then this is the Anova table. So this is like the overall summary. So it tells us like this one, it's statistically, this is the F value, which is usually the Anova value. So there you can see there's a statistical difference in this particular between the groups. You can see it. Then same here. Then this is not statistically significant. So just like that. Then we come to the post hoc. Now remember that the post hoc, I said we have two. We are using two examples. We are using buffoonery and then Tamhanes. Then you can see the mean now value for between nomospermia and oligospermia. This is the mean differences. Then it will tell you the it's not, you can see there's no statistical difference between nomospermia and oligospermia. We can go back here if we want to be sure. Just try and check the mean value. You can see the mean value, but here it's telling us there is no statistical difference between the mean. Then the next one is between nomospermia and oligospermia. It's also telling us there is none. But between nomospermia and control, you can see there is difference between them. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now we move to the next level of comparison. Between oligospermia and nomospermia, there was none, which already reflected here. The oligospermia and azoospermia, there is none because it's less than 0.05. Then oligospermia and control, there is 0.03. Then you move to the third level of comparison. Azoospermia and nomospermia, there is none. Then azoospermia and oligospermia, there is none. Then azoospermia and control, there is none too. And then control, now you can see between control and nomospermia, you can see it. Control and oligospermia, you can see it. Then control and azoospermia, you can see. But you know that depending on the quality of your data that will judge that. Then you can see this now. This is the same analysis, but you can see the p-values are different. So remember that here if we are using buffoonery, you are saying that the variance are equal, but here you are saying that the variance are not equal. So this is likely to give us a better understanding where you say the variance are not equal, because the variance, sir?
I said the variance are not equal.
So this will actually tell us a better result than the previous than the but following. So you can see here now, compare although there is none, but you can see that is actually more reliable than the other. So that's
Yeah.
actually how you run your um, Anova. So
Well,
I
yes.
don't know if there's any question at this moment.
Ah. There is no question, but one needs to practice it very well. Not
That is it. But let me tell you, the most important thing you already learn in the class is how to enter your data, how to code them. Once you
yes.
learn that, all these other ones are is something that you can even go online. Okay, how do I run Anova in SPSS?
Mm.
YouTube will tell you. But if you don't understand those rudiments, you won't know where to go.
Got to go.
And, so by the time we also send this video across, then it will also be um more uh, 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 clear
Explanation. Yes,
to
sir.
you. So yes. So because of time, this is
8
close to
30.
8:30. So I will stop the class today. So hopefully, I think what we have left is actually the uh the correlation.
Okay.
Then we'll now look at non-parametric test. In case
Okay.
your normality is not well distributed, how do you run that? So tomorrow, I think we should be able to finish up with the training, God's
Okay.
willing. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So
Thank you, sir.
thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
No
Thank you for
problem.
the effort too today.
No problem. It's
Very
fact. If I tell you that, it not pay me, it
ah,
does really because